Welcome to Three Gorillas Podcast. It's the Friday show. We're doing it again. We missed last week. Not my fault. It was Luisi and Sammy's fault. So don't blame me.
But you can blame me. I'm fine with it.
Blame Luisi. He's the piece of shit who did it. All right. So, but we're back on it. We're back in the game. It's gonna be just me and Luisi for now. Alex might jump in, and Sammy might jump in. But yeah, let's get it started. How are you, Luisi?
I'm good.
All right. You excited for the Friday show?
No.
Really? Not at all? You don't want to talk about anything?
I was just asleep.
Really? You think that's a good way to start a show?
Yes.
Just like fresh away?
I've been watching The Haunting on Hill House. Have you heard of this shit?
Yeah, my wife is watching it. She says it's kind of cool. It's okay. Like, it's a slow first couple of episodes.
It's like, well, the whole thing's pretty slow. Like, if she...
Oh, by the way, Haunting on Hill House on Netflix. Check it out. We're promoted by Netflix. Hopefully in the future we will...
I have two topics. This is one of them. Okay?
All right.
So,
go ahead.
Haunting on Hill House. I really like it. It's not super scary or anything. It's more kind of like a family drama with ghosts in it. But
really, it's not scary at all.
I mean, no, it's kind of scary. Like, if you're a bitch, you'll be scared, I guess. But, like, it's not really... it's not, like, ridiculously scary. Right? It's just, like, you know... It's like a ghost story type of shit. But it's, like, really good show, though. And what's crazy about the show is that it's, like, a family of 7 people, and all of them look like... They look related to each other. Like, they look like brothers and sisters and shit. Like, it's crazy.
Like they got an actual family? For
the first, like, 2 episodes, I couldn't tell any of the sisters apart. I really could. I thought they were the same person.
Are they white?
Yeah.
Good, then it's not racist.
I guess not. I still can't tell Matt Damon from, what's the other one?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg and Leonardo DiCaprio.
The Departed trio.
Yeah, it's just like, why you gotta put them all in the same movie? Why are you doing this to me?
Is that Alex?
No.
Well, who's the one who says who's offended by that?
By what?
By comparing the 3, because they look very similar.
Was somebody offended by that?
That's what you're saying.
No, that's what I was saying to the movie, to The Departed. Why did you do that to me? I don't know what's going on.
Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon, for some reason, are a lot more similar. And then Leonardo DiCaprio has some similarities, but you can still just
Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon are basically the same person at this point. Only one's racist. I guess Mark Wahlberg is the racist version of Matt Damon.
I saw The Departed when I was, I'm going to say I was like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was young enough to not know any of the characters or what the hell was happening.
You know what's funny? I think I guess if you saw it when you were 15, I must have been like 13 or whatever then, right?
Yeah, I think it came out 2006, and I saw it like right when it came out on DVD, so.
Do you remember watching Mean Girls?
Yep.
I do too. And you know what's funny? I think the 2 movies that have affected me the most are Pulp Fiction and Mean Girls.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Because Pulp Fiction's probably my favorite movie, which I saw when I was like 12, and then like
Mean Girls?
Every year after. And Mean Girls is amazing, but I also saw it when I was like 12. And I remember specifically I didn't want to watch it because it was like a girly movie. And I was like, that shit's stupid. It's a girl movie. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is the best movie ever made. That movie's amazing. I love it.
Because back then we didn't know Tina Fey made it.
Yeah, and then afterwards you're like, oh, Tina Fey made it. That's why it's amazing.
When you found that out, it's like, well, that makes sense now. That's why it's so good.
Yeah.
But the thing that messed me up was, remember the I don't know which year, I think it was 2000 something remake of Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to see that. I think we saw that in theaters.
We did.
And I
pissed myself.
You pissed yourself?
Yeah, because I just didn't want to miss the movie, so I pissed myself while I was watching it.
That's hilarious. I didn't want to watch it because I was scared. Because it was this big-ass monkeys killing people.
Being racist.
No, it's monkeys. It's not people. Monkeys aren't people. I'm comfortable saying that.
Okay.
But I for some reason I was petrified. It's like, no, let's watch this bitch ass movie. I thought it was some girly movie. I think it was like Princess Bride 2 or something.
What are you talking about?
when we went to the theaters, I was trying to get all the group of people to watch a different movie than Planet of the Apes because I was petrified of watching it. Right, and then when
I don't remember this at all.
You were too young, I think. It was like early 2000s.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes came out in like 2003. Oh, hey, I'm here.
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
So when I went to watch it, I was petrified, and then when I started watching, I just thought, this is a shitty ass movie. What? These are some fake ass monkeys acting really weird.
All I remember is there was a part where they were trying to like cross a river or something, and they couldn't do it. That's all I remember.
Helena Bonham Carter was in it.
Who?
Helena Bonham Carter.
I don't know who that is.
She's married to Tim Burton, who made that remake of Planet of the Apes. Well, she was married to Tim Burton.
She's the one that's like the opposite. Yeah. She's the one in basically every Tim Burton movie. She's a scary looking girl or whatever. She looks like a skeleton. Was she in Sweeney Todd?
Yep, she was Mrs. Lovett.
You know what I hate about
Big Fish. She was in Sweeney Todd. She was in Corpse Bride. She was in Dark Shadows.
She's in every Tim Burton movie. She's the girl that you think she looks like Tim Burton as a woman. Like she's.
Like a
I don't know what Tim Burton looks like. I don't know what
she looks like Tim Burton's aesthetic as a woman.
They have two.
What is Tim Burton's aesthetic?
Like Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, that kind of shit. You know his movies.
Oh, like Come to Life?
Yes.
She's really
that's
cool.
Not good. That's not appealing at all.
I love her. She's amazing.
What?
She doesn't give a fuck about anything. She like it's so funny because like the paparazzi will like show her and she's literally in pajamas, riding around on her bike in the middle of London with her children in her pajamas.
It's easy not to care when you're a millionaire. I mean,
yeah.
If I was a millionaire,
I'm poor as fuck and I don't care about anything.
If I was a millionaire, I'd just be walking around with my dick out, and I don't have an impressive dick.
Danny, I don't think that's not caring. That's like
that's like sexual like assault.
That's sexual assault to all of humanity.
That's right, because you look like David from the waist down and the knees up.
The statue of David.
The statue of David, which makes sense because they made that penis extremely small because a big penis was seen
just
as,
the
like,
legs.
Problem.
Just the legs are the statue of David.
The waist down, knees up, Danny. That's what you said.
That's what you said. The crotch area is a little bit better. The legs are amazing, though. My legs are immaculate.
If you say so.
I do say so. All right.
I was talking about Hill House. It's
so
a good show,
so
but it's like it's not really scary. It's more of a family drama with ghosts in it, but it's still really good.
Is it worth watching?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's what
So
you got to hear
Elia
first, people. Watch The Haunting of Hill House.
Elia's watching it.
She's watching it. She loves it.
Yeah, she said it was a slow first couple of episodes.
Yeah, it is a kind of the first couple of episodes, and then it kind of heats up after that.
Oh, but you can pretty much say that about anything, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they want to kind of, it's a 10-episode series.
I don't even think it. I think it stays slow throughout the whole show. I don't think it picks up really.
It picks up when more shit happens.
No,
I rewatched a while back. I rewatched the first couple of Breaking Bad episodes.
Oh yeah, those are so bad.
Not good.
What are you talking about? Are you
So
guys
bad.
insane?
Only like the first 2 or 3 were not good.
What?
The first episode
What?
of
Like
Arrested Development sucked balls.
that's true, but the rest of it was like
Immaculate.
Arrested Development got immediately better. Like
Yeah.
the second episode is like 8 million times better than the first. It's crazy. But
Breaking Bad got good when they actually started making the drugs.
Which episode was it in the first season where he tied the guy up in his basement?
Like episode 8.
Really?
Yeah, it came at like the end of the 8th season.
Get into the mic, bitch.
It came to like the end of the season, I think, because like they had to do like that season arc, and then it kind of had you on a cliffhanger to next season.
Was that the end of the season?
I
don't know. I remember that shit was crazy because remember he broke a plate in the thing and then he put it back together and it was missing a piece and shit.
I remember the episode
no, not at
where
all. I gotta rewatch this
when
show.
Jesse, like the girl he was with, OD'd on
Yeah, that shit was
fucking
crazy.
heroin.
That's
like the episode that stays with me the most.
Yeah.
That's the scene that made it a classic.
Yeah.
I think after I saw that scene, that's like the show's the best show ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that
the
shit is
scene
amazing.
where Hank became a bad guy. He's not Hank. He's Walter White in the show.
Who's Hank?
From Malcolm in the
Hank
Middle.
from Malcolm in the Middle, the dad.
I thought you were talking about because I think the brother-in-law is named Hank in the show, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. It's like an homage to Malcolm in the Middle.
The entire 6 seasons of it's 6 seasons, right, of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I just thought that Walter White was an older version of Hank. From
I thought that
after like all of his children like all disappear or some shit and like get into
Hank,
you know what's funny?
Hank's family died.
Yeah.
He changed
if
his
his
name,
family died, that's
remarried.
what would have happened to Hank.
It's great that you bring up Malcolm in the Middle because I realized like to me Malcolm in the Middle was just another like when I was a kid I watched every sitcom.
Yeah.
That's just what I watched.
It's a very good show.
But like I just realized how good Malcolm in the Middle is because if I see like a clip of it like on Reddit, they'll put like memes of Malcolm in the Middle. Sometimes I'm like, this show's hilarious. Like I just remember some of the jokes. It was
legitimately genius for like the first couple of seasons.
It was.
And then
really
it's one of the only shows I remember as a kid that I actually connected to because the family was poor.
The family was poor and they had like 5 boys.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is basically our life.
Unbelievably poor.
Yeah, they were insanely poor.
The mother was insane though. I don't think your mother was as crazy.
I connected to how crazy that mother was.
I did too.
No, that mother was not was just too out of the way crazy.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Goldbergs?
You've
seen the Goldbergs, right, Danny?
Yeah.
My mother is that mother. That is my mother. She's a smother mother. I love her to death, and she's a wonderful mother. But she's a smother mother, and I love it. That's exactly my family.
What's the opposite of an Oedipus issue?
What
like
where you don't want to fuck your mother?
No, where your mother wants to fuck you.
That's just called that's just called a felony. What do you mean?
It's a complex.
Statutory rape.
An Oedipus complex is where you're
like the devouring mother thing.
Devouring mother. That's what it is.
That's not where your mom wants to fuck you. That's just like
An Oedipus complex is where you have a relationship where you're too dependent on your mother. But
you mean you, Danny?
I'm not dependent on my mother.
You live with her, bitch.
That's for economic issues. An Oedipus complex is where you're too dependent on your mother. What's the opposite where your mother is too dependent on you?
The devouring mother archetype. I don't know if there's like a complex word for it.
Yeah,
well, that's what it
like
is.
The mother in misery
Goldbergs.
or something, like the mom in like what is it? Mother Dearest?
I don't know what that is.
No, Mother. The what's it called?
No,
that's
I know.
like a 70s movie.
I know. Mother Mommy Dearest, and then that's like the one where like the mother's
probably
insane.
In Psycho too, right? Isn't Psycho that kind of shit?
No, it's the son obsessed with the mother. But in Mommy Dearest, it's like the mother is obsessed, like with no one like finding out they're like insane, and she like beats her children. And
it's
shit
like
that.
No, it's like Bubble Boy.
Yes.
Remember Bubble Boy?
Do you remember that
Not
movie?
really.
I don't remember if you guys remember the movie, but it was like a movie where these people thought that like the world ended in like the 1960s, and they went into their when they went into their bomb shelter.
Yeah. Was it
and
called
then, like,
Adam
he
and
came
Eve?
out.
Or,
that was so good, right? I just thought about that.
I don't know if it's
I
good.
saw that like last
remember
year for some reason.
It's really, really good. It's almost like Truman Show kind of good.
Don't compare that shit to the Truman Show.
True.
What's wrong with you?
Amazing. Truman
Show's overrated.
What are you talking about?
Oh my god!
I saw it too many times. I mean, it's just.
Oh, okay. See, I've only seen it like once in my whole life, and it was like a very groundbreaking experience because it was like Jim Carrey can actually be something other than funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Well,
it was a great movie.
He was the funny on the show. Also, let's talk about the Truman Show for a second.
Okay.
If the Truman Show happened in real life, first of all, it's impossible because I don't think
Isn't that just keeping up with the Kardashians?
No, and there's no society that would allow a corporation to adopt a person, first of all.
You don't know.
We're heading there.
I hope not. But second of all, that guy died, killed himself like 2 months later.
What?
Right? Truman, at the end, he escapes the dome.
Yeah.
He kills himself like 2 months later.
No, he goes with the girl.
It ends like right after he escapes, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he goes with the girl. We're made to assume he went with the girl.
The epilogue of that movie is that he killed himself. Because nobody, after living in a dome, is going to be okay.
And living in a fantasy world where everything's about you, and then you have to hit the hard reality of what the actual world is like. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's a multifaceted thing. But anyways, what was I going to say? I forget. There's another really good movie where, there's so many good movies where Jim Carrey is so
You know what?
Bring up a topic.
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
You want... Oh, I don't want to watch that. Too much demon stuff.
Yeah, it's way too much.
Danny, what are you getting so like stupid about shit recently? Just watch a show. It's a show.
I saw Apostle, the movie.
How was that?
It's good.
Why would you watch Apostle but not Sabrina?
Because the Sabrina on Netflix is too much demon stuff. Apostle doesn't.
She's a witch.
No, Apostle's weird. I watched it. I don't think I understand it.
Okay, let me explain this to you.
The witch is the victim in the movie.
He's talking about Apostle.
Okay, I'm talking to you about something though, Danny. So, well, I know you're talking about Apostle.
So let him talk about Apostle.
Fucking talk about Apostle, and then I'll talk to you about Sabrina.
Did you guys clock out?
No,
what?
We're here.
You guys just stopped talking like in the middle of a sentence.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh.
Okay, then talk.
God, this podcast.
Danny, just talk.
Okay, guys. So I watched Apostle. Apostle, I was really entertained. I just don't know if you can call it a good movie. Because I think it needed to be longer because there wasn't a relationship.
No movie ever needs to be longer. Are you insane? How long was the movie?
Okay,
how long was the movie?
I don't know. I have to check.
How long do you think it was?
If I had to guess, an hour and a half.
That's perfect. Don't go any longer.
The problem is they didn't develop enough of a relationship between the protagonist and the antagonist.
That just means they need to edit their script. They don't need to make it longer.
All right, edit it. But the problem was there was this point where the protagonist gains the confidence of the leader of the island, right? And then immediately loses that confidence. Like next scene, it's over.
See,
right?
those are the kind of things where you just kind of move away from doing a film and do like a mini series.
No, what's wrong with you people? Things should never be longer.
You loved Maniac.
I did, but that was a good length for that. It shouldn't be longer. They shouldn't make a second season.
They're not.
Good.
But I'm saying that like instead of like doing like these 1.5 hour movies where everything is rushed based on
it doesn't mean
whatever.
If it's well crafted, it doesn't mean it's rushed. Some things can be told in an hour and a half and don't need to be.
I think Netflix should do more miniseries. I really think this.
I think we should go away from films and start doing like miniseries.
We already have, first off. Like everything's a fucking miniseries now.
Because miniseries before weren't done that much. Yeah, like Roots. They weren't done as much because like live TV wasn't a good, platform for miniseries. Netflix is the perfect platform for a miniseries. Mm-hmm. Because I don't mind the miniseries as long as it's one season long. This is also why I liked anime. That's the definition of a miniseries.
I know, but like Stranger Things should have been one season. The second season wasn't good.
I never saw either of them.
Yeah, Stranger Things is like you should watch the first season and nothing else. Also, like 13 Reasons Why should have just been one season.
13 Reasons Why shouldn't exist. It's not very good.
It's good.
The only
it
character
made me feel the feels.
The only character I like is the black guidance counselor because he just seems like he's like, look, I'm just get paid. Like, why are you asking me things?
He's the guidance counselor. He's the one who's you asking questions.
All right, let's talk about these topics. I'm done with movies.
Okay.
All right, you guys want to get into some politics?
No.
Well, then we're going to end this show right now.
What's the first topic?
Well, I have to talk about the news this week because this is
Trump? Are we talking about Trump?
What?
Are we talking about Trump?
No, we're not talking about Trump.
Come on. It was so good.
No.
The fact that
what do you want to say about Trump?
Oh my God. Just you saw the shit on HBO that he says that he's going to stop people who are children of
he's going to stop the birthright citizenship.
So your children would no longer be citizens.
Yeah, that's not. So he can't. He's just saying shit.
I'm not scared of that. I'm more like, when I saw that, I wasn't scared. I was more like, this guy doesn't have the mental capacity to be the president if he thinks he can overwrite the Constitution. He just thinks he can do
anything.
But like to have the audacity, to have the stupidity to think you can just say, hey, we're going to end birthright citizenship. By the way, every single thing he said on that thing was a lie.
I know.
That we're the only country that does birthright citizenship. Almost every single country in the Western Hemisphere has birthright citizenship.
Yeah, like you at least become like a dual citizen.
No, every single country except for Colombia, which is weird. I don't know why Colombia doesn't have birthright citizenship.
Nobody wants to live in Colombia.
Hey,
Colombia's
relax.
Fine.
Colombia's fine.
No one wants to live there.
every single country except for Colombia in the Western Hemisphere has birthright citizenship. You know why? Can I tell you why, people? Because all of the Americas was immigrated to.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Colombia was one of the ones that was immigrated to, and that was a huge part of the slave trade.
Well, yeah, all of the Caribbean and most of the Caribbean was just a port for slaves.
Hey, did you guys know that, but there's a fort above St. Augustine called Fort Mose, which was the first free black community in America. And when that got taken over by England, they all went to Cuba.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's hilarious.
A lot of slaves in America from the South would either go north to New York or Canada, or they would go south to Cuba.
Yeah, they went to Spanish Florida until 1764 when it was taken over by the English.
When America bought Florida, they would go through Florida down to the Caribbean to escape, which is weird because Cuba had slaves too. I don't know Spanish laws of slavery.
It did.
I think it was more like Haiti because the French were a lot more merciful with their slaves.
Yeah.
Look what that got them.
The
fucking bloodiest revolution in the Western Hemisphere.
By the way,
Spanish had different laws regarding slavery where they actually had like human rights, and
sort of. How much human rights can you have when you still have slaves?
I know, but they could own property and they could get married and they could be baptized in the same church as everyone else.
And
that's not a thing.
You know what's
they can also easily buy their freedom.
You know what's the funniest thing to me is when people are like, there's like sometimes white racists on the internet will be like, look, people were nice to their slaves. Like
my God.
They'll be like, most slave masters were nice to their slaves. It's like, yeah, it's like somebody being nice to their dog. Do you want to be a dog? Do you want to be the equivalent of a dog? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it would be better if you lived in a nice owner's house, but the guy still owns you, and that's not cool.
Sometimes you're a dog that lives in a mansion. Sometimes you're a dog that lives outside with like a 2-foot chain, and your balls are cut off.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad.
In context, nothing is good. But there were less or more degrees of
that sounded like pro-slavery to me. I don't know.
I said it's not good. None of it is good. But there were some countries that had different rights and there were countries that had different rights that pertain to specific slaves, slaves specifically. In America, they had no rights. They were owned by their people. And even though they were owned by their people in other countries, like Spanish-speaking countries, they also had basic human rights too. It's just different wherever you go.
Slavery across all of the Western Hemisphere was very different if you go from region to region. Like I said, French slavery was very different than English slavery because French, had I guess you can call it a more humanitarian system, even though it's how humanitarian slavery can really be. Also, if you want to hear a really interesting revolution, find out about the Haitian Revolution because that was
it's insane.
First of all, that is probably the most satisfying history to listen to because I listened to a podcast and those Haitians just killed every single white man in Haiti. Literally, that's the history. Yeah. They killed every single white man in Haiti.
Because also, Danny,
and that is well deserved.
Also, isn't it in a lot of the Caribbean countries at the time, and also Latin America, there weren't a lot of white people there. They sent a few people to run the slaves, and then the rest because nobody really wanted to live there. They wanted to live back in England because it's hot and shit in the Caribbean.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I believe the ratio in Haiti was 8-1 slaves.
Yeah, so they're just of course this is gonna happen. How are you gonna
4-1 or 8-1?
How are you gonna?
I think it was 4-1.
How are you going to enslave the majority population of a country?
Yeah,
how is that gonna happen?
The most in America, it was specific counties was 3-1, and that was only very tiny regions, little counties, right? But when you just listen about slave uprisings, it's the most. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. It's very satisfying to hear about black people just killing the white man.
Yeah, any person really. Okay, so Danny, I have
anybody who's oppressing somebody when the oppressed stand up and start killing,
kill everybody. It's great. But I have really fun information for you. So we were actually going through slavery records today, baptismal records for slaves today in my class. And yeah, we do this like it's amazing. And so like it's really hard because like every slave woman is named Maria. So it's like Maria, 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 and Maria. It's like, okay. And then every slave man is like Juan. Specifically, like Juan Hernandez is like a huge name. And then if they didn't know your name, they call you Fulano. Fulano, Fulano.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fulano,
I didn't know that was an official thing. In Spanish,
Fulano means
whatever her name is or whatever their name is. Fulano.
It's like me saying, like,
what's its name?
In Spanish, we're just like, what's his name?
Yeah.
They're just saying, like, Fulano did whatever.
Yeah.
That's like, what's his name did do this.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's a legit thing. Like, in documents, like, my professor found one document where the whole thing was Fulano, 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 Fluano. That's all it was. It's just a whole page of people he didn't know their names to.
Wow, that's
pretty
kind of
fucking
sad.
Great.
It's not great. It's kind of sad.
No, I mean like that. No, I mean like
a bunch of
it's
people
just
who were
whatever.
unnamed.
Danny, look, I'm sorry to derail, but I have to tell you this. In
Go
my
ahead.
job, you know, I medical.
Well, that is a left turn, man.
Look, because in my job I do medical billing or whatever, but and I get to see a lot of people's names because it's patients in like doctors' offices, and I go through their records and like do billing shit. But like, there was one woman named like it was like Maria de la Cruz Gomez de la something. Like her first name said de la something in it, and so did her last name. That's the most Hispanic shit I've ever seen.
My wife's grandmother, her middle name is De Los Angeles. Her middle name is Of the Angels.
Yeah,
that's not a name. That's a statement. Her middle name is a statement, which I find awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that has nothing to do with slavery, Lucy. So we're not going to.
I know, but it just reminded me. What was it? Something I said something before the podcast that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, we were having this. Okay, we'll talk about this as our first actual topic because we haven't not gotten into a single topic yet. This is a very Hispanic conversation to have. But we're going to have it. This is the question I want to ask to you specifically, Luisi, because you're the only other Latino right now on this podcast. Okay. In sports or any other society, well, let me, for all the whiteys who listen to this show, Latinos in certain situations tend to back other Latinos. Like, let's say I'm Colombian, so if Colombia's playing in the World Cup, I'll support them. But if Colombia's like when Colombia's out, I'll support Argentina or Chile. I'll even support Brazil, just because they're Latinos and they're part of the same, culture umbrella.
I have homework due tomorrow that I have to work 11 hours. So hold up, I'm gonna go do my homework. I love you. Go talk about sports with your brother.
Bye, Alex.
I hate you. Have fun.
So Latinos tend to support each other in sports and I guess in other fields. Mm-hmm. This is known as a fact.
I don't think that's just a Hispanic thing. I think all people do that.
I think that's very Hispanic.
No, it's Danny. Everybody will just support. Why do you think everybody's like?
No, but If America is in the World Cup and they get knocked out, they're not going to just support England. They're not going to support another Anglo culture. I think it's
weird in America specifically because nobody in America cares about soccer. So if America's in the World Cup, they're like, oh shit, I gotta watch it because America's in it. It would be like if there was a worldwide version of American football, how many Hispanic countries would watch it? Would Colombia watch American football just normally? No, they wouldn't.
I know
if
Mexico loves American football.
Okay, but like Colombia, let's just say.
All right.
So Colombia wouldn't watch American football normally.
But the entire world watches.
No, but Danny, just listen to me. Colombia wouldn't watch American football normally, but if there was a Colombian team playing in the World Cup of American football, they'd watch it just to see if Colombia makes it, and if they don't, and if they get knocked out, they're like, okay, I'm done, they didn't make it. It's the same thing with America. We don't care about soccer.
But what I'm saying is, if Denmark is in the World Cup and they get knocked out, are they going to support Norway?
If there's white people who like soccer, they might.
I don't think that's... I think Latinos are, because we have the same culture, we tend to support each other in sports. At least when our main country gets knocked out.
Dan, you're talking specifically about soccer.
Yeah, well, you can say the same about because soccer is a universal sport. Every single country plays it. You know what I mean? What? And
except America, and we live in the only country that doesn't play it. Really,
all I'm saying, what other cultural umbrella supports other countries like Latinos?
I don't know.
It also might be just Latinos in America.
I think that's what you're talking about, because the thing is, like, it's the immigrant experience in America, because, like, you know, it's like you feel like because in America, no matter what country you're, like, originally from, like, whatever country your parents are from, like, they'll just lump you in with, like, you guys are Hispanic, whatever. You're all the same thing no matter what country you're from. So, you know, that gets into you a little bit.
And I believe, I don't know, I'll have to listen, to other Latinos, but I think, like, Hispanic countries tend to be more united because of our culture. Like, there's a lot of free movement.
I don't know if Latin America. I mean, there's free movement in the EU.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So is it more than white people then?
But Europe's different because there's, a bunch of different cultures with different languages. Latin America has pretty much one language, Spanish. And then one nation that speaks Portuguese. But there's like 20 Spanish-speaking countries in Latin America. And they have free movement and they have very similar cultures. So I just think there's a lot more unity within Latin American countries than other umbrellas. So this is my question. Well, first of all, I have two questions now. My first question is, knowing that you're probably not the right person to ask this, but should we support Spain when they play sports?
I say no because Spanish people are white, but that's just me.
Well, they're Hispanic.
No, they're not. I don't care what you say, Danny.
Lucy, if you're not going to have an actual debate, we can just switch.
No, because look, this is what I'm saying. They're the colonizers. They're the ones. They are. They literally were one of the big colonizers in the old world. They're the reason why.
New world.
What I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. They're the reason why we speak Spanish, Danny. They're the reason why most of Latin America is Catholic. I mean, this is the reason. And they're the England of Latin America. I don't support them. No, I don't. I'm not mad at it, but they're not Hispanic. They're white. They're not Latinos. They're white.
Well, first of all, they're undeniably Hispanic because Hispanic.
Okay, yeah, but like I'm just saying, like Latin.
They're not
America,
Latinos. That's what you're saying.
The Western Hemisphere, Hispanic, Latino, whatever. Our race is made up of a mixture of everything. That's what makes us different, I think, than other.
Well, it's not a race; it's a cultural identity.
Yeah, I know, but that's why we're different. Is because we're so mixed up. They don't know what we are, so they just made a new thing. You know, it's like you're so mixed up, you're different now. You know, that's what I'm saying. And Spanish people aren't a part of that. They're white. So we took the white from the Spaniards and the black from the slaves and the the Native American shit that was in there and the indigenous population. They all mixed together and now there's us. That's why we're different.
But first of all, they have the same language. They have the same, for the most part, religion. I mean, most of Latin America is Roman Catholic, and Spain is like the capital of Roman Catholics. And their food is similar. They like the same music. A lot of Spaniards live in Latin America. A lot of Latin Americans live in Spain. I mean, and they're the reason we have the culture we do. So, should we just not support them? Should we not like Spain?
Are British people American?
America isn't a culture; it's a nation.
There's an American culture, Danny. You know there is. And don't think of America as a whole. Think of like the regions in America. Is there a Southern American culture? Is there a Northern American culture? Is there a Western American culture? Yes, these are all specific things that when I said it, you pictured something and you know what I'm talking about.
I don't think so.
What do you mean? We live in the South. You know what a Southern white person is like.
American culture is not the same as Latino culture.
It's not the same. I'm just saying we have a culture. Americans have a culture that's different from English culture.
I think it's apples and oranges, really.
What do you mean?
Like, I guess the it would be like Canada, America, and England.
Are different.
We have close relationship with Canada. I don't know. I think it's just different. Like let's say the closest thing would be Canada and America have a very similar culture. We're basically the same people. Like if Canadians don't have a strong accent, you would never know they're Canadian, right? Like Seth Rogen is Canadian. I had no idea.
Yeah, Seth Rogen, Will Arnett, who's Job from Arrested Development. There's
a bunch of Canadians. And, they're pretty much Americans.
But what was your original argument? That Spain should be considered, like, Hispanic people?
All I'm saying is that, like, Spain won the World Cup in, 2010?
Yeah.
I was rooting for them.
Good for them. Like, look, I don't care about sports, so this isn't an,
Okay, let's talk about something else.
No, but this is what I want to say. Like what you were saying before, I consider, like, the Latin American countries and Caribbean countries, the whole Western Hemisphere Spanish-speaking population, and Brazil. I consider to be part of that culture. Like, that's where I'm...
You think Spain is not part of our
culture? No,
that's
separate.
I guess
Spain is Spain. They were the original, like, you could say, like, I'm taking it as a bad thing because, they were colonizers and slave traders and shit like that, and it was bad. But you could also say they're the mother of our culture, or the father, or, like, one of the originators, but it's different. So, like, blues is different from rock music.
Yeah.
But blues, you could see how blues turned into rock.
All right, let me ask you this, Lucy. Just so I can get this. Which one... Brazil is a Latino culture, but they don't speak Spanish. And they have a lot of differences from Spanish-speaking Latinos. Spain isn't Latino, but they're Hispanic. They speak the same language and share a lot of cultural aspects. Which one do you feel closer to? Brazil or Brazilians? You feel closer to Brazilians than you do to
It would be interesting to ask Brazilians if they feel close to Portuguese people.
That would be a good question. We got to get a Brazilian on the show.
Yeah.
I know Brazilians don't like...
How do you feel about the Portuguese? That's my only question.
I know Brazilians don't like to consider themselves Latinos. Well, a lot of them don't. A lot of them is like, I'm just Brazilian. You know?
I mean, they're half the continent.
Yeah. I mean, they're big enough to be like, just like, screw you guys. We're just Brazil. I don't know nothing about Latinos or anything.
Oh, yeah. So, like, it's like, would Americans consider themselves North Americans? No, we're just Americans. I'm not part of Canada. Are you crazy?
Exactly. That's what it is.
Like I hear like when I'm listening to like British shit or like I'll be watching a video on YouTube with like British people talking and they'll refer to America as like North America and I'm like, bitch, what are you talking about?
It's the U.S.
Are you talking about America? Because that's America. North America is a different thing, and you do not refer to me as North America.
Jesus, that's why so aggressive about it.
Just saying.
Man. All right, let me ask you a different topic, but in the same area. There's this new thing that I guess the younger Latinos are calling our, about our group. It's Latinx.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this thing?
Yeah.
What the hell is Latinx?
It's just it's about the, at least this is what I think. I might be wrong, but it's probably just the gender thing. Since Spanish is a gendered language and you say Latino or Latina, I think they're just like, well, we don't want to be gender binary or whatever.
So is it Latinos that aren't male or female? Asexual Latinos?
No, I think it's just like a way. I think it's now just become a way to refer to youth Latin culture.
Yeah, I'm against this.
Like hipster Hispanic people, I guess, would be like Latinx. But also, I think it was the term. I think was birthed from the non-gender binary thing.
I can't support this. I'll tell you why.
You know what? Being transgender in Spanish must be a lot worse because everything's gendered.
The LGBT community in Latin America is very oppressed and they're victims of a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
But I'm against that, but I'm also against this Latinx thing, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
It's anglicizing Latino culture. Because first of all, if you're gonna say Latinx, it would be Latinx. First of all, not Latinx.
Hey, this is American people saying something Like, Los Angeles is not called Los Angeles. But, that's what they have to call it.
I'm just saying, I don't know who's saying Latinx. I guess it's just younger Hispanic people. But Latino, when you use the O, it's not just, it's all-encompassing. It's male and female. The O.
But, it's the patriarchy and all that shit.
I mean, that's the language. I mean, also,
I don't think this is like, I don't think it's anglicizing, like,
it
Hispanic
is, because
culture.
Latinx is not a Latin word. It's not a Hispanic word.
Can you listen to me?
Go.
It's not anglicizing it. I think what it is, because this is not people in South America or the Caribbean doing this. This is American Hispanic people doing this.
Yeah.
So those people are American. So they're not anglicized. They're taking their culture and putting it together. They're American Hispanic. They're probably half white or some shit. Or they've not. They've been living in America their entire life. I've been living in America my entire life. I'm an American.
Well, if you don't want to use, the Latino, say Hispanic, because Hispanic doesn't have a gender. It's just an American word.
They can do whatever they want.
I don't like it. It's Latinx. It doesn't hold the same weight as Latino or Hispanic.
I don't like saying it, but I like seeing it because I like the X.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. Maybe I'm just very conservative on that. I don't like the.
Yeah, you're very
I don't like
conservative
changing
on
it.
Lots of things.
I'm not, but
yes,
all right.
you are.
Well, on the same topic, we had a guest ask us to talk about a specific topic that's actually related to this.
What are you talking about?
I have a topic that somebody suggested to me.
Who suggested it to you?
You know her.
Okay.
All right.
Doesn't mean I know who suggested it.
I don't know if she wants me to say her name. That's why I'm not going to say it.
Just don't say it then.
All right. Well, apparently the other day was, hold on, Happy Intersex Awareness Day.
Okay.
It was probably last week because I got this a while ago.
Somebody wants us to talk about it?
Yeah.
That's not a good idea.
They put out a little like picture, and it's like a bunch of circles, and the main circle is intersex, and then there's smaller circles that like overlap, and it's female, male, trans, agender, non-binary.
Yeah.
Right? And so some of them are overlapping and some of them aren't. And so I guess this person just wants to know our opinions on the whole gender debate.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about this?
I mean, my opinion is boring because I just don't care. Like, it's if you want to be transgender or whatever, just do it. It doesn't matter to me. I don't.
Do you think the government should have a say?
No, I don't think the government should say. No, I don't think the government should have a say in most things. I'm pretty libertarian on that front, but like the government shouldn't care what you think you're. Like the government shouldn't care what you're doing. Like in regards to your gender, it shouldn't, because it makes no difference to the greater scheme of anything. Like anything that's like that whole family values thing and all that shit. Like the government shouldn't be involved in any of that ever. None of that.
So how about when like on government papers where they have like male or female? Do you think they should add more options? Not have that option at all?
Yeah, put all the options you want. If there's even one person that you don't have an option for, put the option there. Because why not? Or have an option to write in what you want to be.
Yeah, like male, female, other, and then you just like an option to write it in.
And yeah, that's it. Just like, but just
a lot of cultures have third genders.
Yeah.
So I gotta say,
do you want a hot take? Because I got one.
Go ahead, do it.
So I respect all that shit, because first off, like, who would want to turn into a woman unless you really, really want to? Like, who would want to turn into the opposite sex unless you really, really want to do it? So like, yeah, you should let them do it because nobody's doing that. And it's just like, I kind of want to do it. No, nobody's gonna chop off their dick because they're like, I want to see what it's like. They're just gonna.
Well, there are a couple of cases of people who regret it and want to turn back.
Yeah, but whatever. People regret everything. I don't care. But I'm saying, like, the shit I don't respect at all is people who are, like, want to be non-binary, like they, them shit.
Really? Yeah.
Because that, like, is 100% a phase. Because, like, look, What do you mean you don't want to be either? Like, what is this? Like,
well,
if you were born a man, unless you really want to be a woman, just be a man. Like, why do you want to, like... What, does it offend you? Somebody just say he? Like...
Well, I'm gonna tell you my opinion on this.
What?
As far as... Listen, my opinion is this. It's a free country. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. If you want to call yourself asexual, transgender, a monkey, if you're a white person and you think you're black, or if you're a black person and you think you're white.
Do you support Rachel Dolezal?
I don't give a shit about her. Rachel Dolezal is a woman who pretended to be black or like identified as a black person. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's stupid, but it's a free country. She has the right to be stupid. Also, she was pretty hardcore into being black. I mean, she was
honestly,
she was leader. She was what's it called?
She was the president of the Spokane, Washington chapter of the NAACP.
Oh, by the way, how much of a lack of black people does Spokane
That's
have?
what I'm saying. Like, I think they're just... She was also the only member of the Spokane, Washington chapter of the NAACP. They didn't
really? Is that true?
No, I don't know.
Listen, I mean, as far as Rachel Dolezal goes, I mean, she was living that life. She was supporting black people. Like,
yeah,
if you're gonna
she wore dashiki everywhere.
She had her hair up as in like an afro kind of a thing.
Well, she just had curly hair.
Well, she would like bush it up like an afro. I mean, if she wants to live
She was trying to be black. You know. She was really trying to be black, and I'm like, look.
I mean, it's weird. So, but live your life. It's not, I have no say in how you live your life. Black people might be offended by it, but
this is what I don't get. Like, all this, like, I don't know what to call it. I guess political culture things, like the whole, like anything LGBT related and all that stuff. Like, basically the entire reason why Trump got elected, all these things. Like, why is that political? You should just be allowed to do anything you want.
Yeah, I mean, these Republicans, they act like they're, oh no, like individual rights. You don't give a shit about individual rights. Like, you don't want gay people to get married. You don't let transgender people use bathrooms. You want to kick them out of the military. I mean, you just don't give a shit about anybody. You hate everybody. But listen, also another thing about the LGBT community, you got too many letters. It's not LGBT anymore. It's LGBTQIA. That's too many letters.
Well, the problem with the LGBTQ...
L and G is lesbian and gay are both homosexuals. So you can just put H. All right? You don't need two different letters for that. Bisexuals, that's a college phase, so you don't even need that. Q is what? Queer or questioning?
I think it's questioning.
If you're questioning, you're not part of the group. All right? You got to think about it before you can join. So there's just too many...
the problem is that, like, I guess before it was just like anything that had to do with like sexual orientation that didn't fit the norm. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, and shit is there. Yeah. But now I guess it's also transgender people and stuff like that, which I guess is part of. They're just putting whatever in there.
The I is intersexual. What is that? What does that mean?
Intersex is like hermaphrodite.
Oh.
I think.
And I think I saw.
I think an intersex person is somebody who is basically a hermaphrodite who was born with one thing.
Well, that's an actual medical condition.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, an argument I've heard about that is that people who were born intersex, because what happens most of the time is that when somebody's born intersex, they'll like technically they have both genitalia, but they're like predominantly one.
They'll identify as one specific.
No. I'm just saying, like, at birth, like you might have both genitalia, but it's like just predominantly you're a woman, but you might have a tiny penis there, just like whatever. So they're just like, well, it's just a woman with a thing. So a lot of times, I think most of the time, they'll just cut off your dick and be like, okay, you're a woman.
They do that. They do actually cut off the dick in a lot of the cases, mostly because it's easier than getting rid of the vagina. Which is sad, because if you identify as a man, which has happened, you're gonna miss your dick. Also, a second thing about this, which I didn't know, the reason people are intersex is when you're conceived in the womb, everybody starts off a woman. Yeah. And then somewhere in the process, you get shot up with a bunch of testosterone, or not. If you're supposed to get shot up with a bunch of testosterone, you're supposed to turn into a man, right?
I guess.
And this is what I understand. And what happens is, like, when you get shot with all that testosterone, sometimes, very, very limited amount of times, you don't receive it to where you're supposed. It's like a computer error. It comes in, but you don't understand it. You don't comprehend what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? And so you come out, you were supposed to be a man, but you come out underdeveloped, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what happens in a majority of the cases is, when you reach puberty in your early teens, you get shot up with a second dose of testosterone, and then you basically finish developing. So this idea of hermaphrodites is just men who didn't get developed all the way, and they finish developing as they turn into teens, which is extremely interesting if you ask me. It's crazy.
Well, does that mean they'll have a vagina then?
It's basically that the vagina is supposed to turn into a penis, I guess. Right?
I guess.
And so it's just it got stuck in the middle of transition, and I guess in their teenage years it finishes the transformation. It's like a delayed transformation. I don't know. That's what I understood from it.
Okay, well, look, the thing that I heard is that, like, intersex people will be born with both, but they're predominantly one or the other. They're either predominantly male or predominantly female, and in whatever case, they'll just, like, remove the other sex organ. And then I guess some people's thing with intersex shit is that the doctor shouldn't make that choice for you, basically.
I mean, he really shouldn't at all. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Because you're deciding for somebody else. I guess the parents should make the choice.
The parent,
really.
I guess.
The parent's the one, like, who should make that choice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, the doctor can't do it because the doctor has no right to the baby. I mean, the parents have that right. It's like when you circumcise a baby, that's the parent's choice. There's a lot of new people who say it's like, no, if you want to circumcise yourself, you should wait until you choose to do that. I don't agree with that. If the parents can do whatever they want to you, they're the parents. Is that wrong?
I mean, I agree. I agree with you. Like, it's like you can't just save everything. It's like you have to wait till they're old enough to decide. It's like you can't wait 18 years for everything.
Yeah,
like,
you can't, like, when you're 18, you can't just make every single choice in your life.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
I'll choose to get
I'm
18 now. You know what? I'm 18. I'm gonna eat my vegetables.
Oh, Alex knew somebody that she worked with whose parents didn't vaccinate her.
Oh, that's
and then
sad.
when she turned 18, she chose to get all the vaccinations that she missed. I just think that's interesting. Is that, like, the whole time she's just like, "Why didn't you vaccinate me?" It's like, "Because I don't want you to get autism." It's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna get all my vaccinations when I'm 18. Yeah. You can't stop me."
Imagine that kid, like, at 14 is like, "All right, Maria, what do you want for your 14th birthday? To live? Can you vaccinate me?
What do you want? I don't want polio."
You know what? You know what would suck? Mumps.
Yeah.
Measles at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the only kid in the 6th grade that has polio. Do you want that?
And then the parents come back with, you know what would also suck? Autism.
I'm okay with autism. That's your problem. I'll be fine with autism.
And also, every other kid in the world has gotten vaccinated, and most of them don't have autism. So, what are you trying to do?
Oh God, that's crazy. All right, I got another topic. I want other topics that I want to get through quick. But as far as the LGBT thing goes, do whatever the hell you want. All right, it's a free country. Morally, I don't care. That's your problem. I guess I'm lucky.
Is it a problem, Danny?
It's not for me. That's what I'm saying. Morally, I guess I'm lucky because I don't have to deal with these questions because I'm a male who identifies as a male who's straight, who identifies as straight. So yeah. I don't have to deal with the same issues. We should really ask somebody who's transgender. When we get bigger, I'm gonna bring in a transgender person and just ask them a million questions. So if you're transgendered and you're listening,
I just don't understand why anybody cares. Like, why do you give a shit?
It's interesting. It's an area that a lot of people don't understand.
No, but like, why would people be mad at somebody for that? Like, I can see why you're confused, but why are you mad about it? Like, why is it?
It's
matter?
tribalism. It's just basically tribalism. Like, something's different, and conservatives have lizard brains, so they don't understand when something's different. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad.
Danny, everybody has lizard brains. Calm down. Obama's a reptilian.
Yes, of course. Also, let's talk about this really quick. So in the news today, the right wing just lost its mind.
Why?
They sent out bombs. There's a theme in this podcast about trying to get me to be more open-minded to different views. Right, Lucy?
Yes.
Andrew talks about it with me. Say, hey, I should be more open-minded to the right. You talk about it. Say, hey, I should be more open-minded to people with different views. It's really hard to do that when they're just killing people.
What are you talking about? Right? The guy who sent pipe bombs?
And the guy who killed 11 Jews for being Jewish.
Yeah. No,
right? How do you talk to those? Why should I hear them out?
Nobody's asking you to hear out terrorists.
But that's what they all believe.
You know there were also liberal terrorists, right? Not now, but like in the 70s and shit, when Vietnam and stuff was going on, there were liberal terrorist groups.
So 20 years before I was born?
No, but I'm saying right now, the way politics is going.
Let me throw a few statistics at you. Let me show you some facts. Do you know what percentage of American terrorism is caused by the right wing?
These are facts. I'm not disputing you on any of this. I know it's most of it.
I just want to give you these facts. Can I give you these facts?
Go ahead, Danny.
71% of all terrorist acts in this country are caused by right-wing extremists. You know how many are by Muslims?
How many?
Thank you. 26%, which is a lot. It's a bigger percentage than what the population of Muslims are in this country. But I guess there's a lot of different factors that go into that. You know what the percentage of left-wing terrorism and all other terrorism combined is?
How much?
3%.
That's nice.
3% of all, less than 3%, because it's left-wing terrorism and all other kinds.
Hey, you know what the percentage that I care is?
0?
Yeah. I don't care about your stats. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying,
Danny, you can't equate the right wing to their terrorist organizations.
I can compare the right wing to the left wing in this country. All right? From what I'm seeing, the left wing yells at people, disturbs people's lunches, have protests where they knock on doors at the Capitol building and annoy politicians. The right wing just straight up kills people. They send bombs to politicians. We annoy politicians. They actually try to bomb them. All right? And then they try to kill Jews for no reason. Why the Jews? Can you answer me that? So why is it really equal? Is it really he says, she says?
Danny.
Should I really hear out the right when they have a giant
Danny, you're just straw manning
problem?
Danny, you're doing a straw man argument to the most insane degree here.
How so?
Because you said all the left wing does is talk to people and annoy people, and then the right wing tries to kill everybody. Danny, I agree with you that the majority of terrorist acts in America are right wing terrorism, but the majority of right wing people in America aren't terrorists.
That's true. That's absolutely a fact. So I'm just saying.
You can't just... You're doing the same shit that the white people did in 9/11, after 9/11, that they said all Muslims were terrorists.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying, Lucy. All right? I'm not saying that right-wing people are bad. I'm just saying we can't have a conversation where we treat the right and the left equal. Like they both have the same problems and the same, issues, okay? Because it's a fact that the right in this country is way more violent than the left, okay? Can you name a single left-wing terrorism attack?
I can't name a single right-wing one that didn't happen over a week ago.
How about the Charleston shooting? where white supremacists went into a church and killed 12 black people.
Danny.
Or
Danny, listen to me.
I got a lot of
listen to me. Danny, listen to me.
I have a lot of facts.
Danny, you're talking about crazy people. You can't just talk about crazy people. Danny,
crazy
no,
people
I get it.
who
Crazy
identify
people
with the right.
Yeah, crazy people who got infected by right-wing propaganda and went crazier. But Danny, you can't just say that this is right-wing people being right-wing people. These are crazy people.
Okay, fine. That's true. These are crazy people. Okay. Conservatism is not terrorism, okay? All I'm saying is we can't have a conversation.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You can have a conversation, but we can't have a conversation where we treat like the left wing is just as crazy as the right wing, because it's not true. All right?
When you're taking the extremes of what the things do, it's different extremes. Like, I'm saying the extreme of the right wing is worse than the extreme of the left wing. But when you take the majority of the people in both camps, they're not crazy people.
Okay, fine, but I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the majority. All right? What I'm saying is it's not a case of 50-50. That's all I'm saying.
In what? What do you mean?
Of
terrorist attacks in America? I know that. I know
in volatility, in divisiveness. The right-wing politicians are saying, hey, listen, both sides need to calm down. That's not true. We're calm. The left is not the problem.
Danny, the left is also volatile and shit.
In what way? How many people have we killed?
Danny, that's not what I'm talking about. In other ways. And I know that the right wing is worse because there's a lot of right wing fucking killings and shit. Danny, listen to me.
I'm listening.
You're acting like left-wing people are like angels and shit that don't do anything. They do bad shit too. If you don't 100% agree with everything they say, then they'll just like basically exclude you from the camp and you're not left-wing anymore because you don't agree with every single issue and all this shit. And
that's true. That is a problem. In college campuses, that happens a lot. There's a lot of extreme.
Yeah, and in right-wing militia camps, there's terrorism. It's in specific places that this shit happens, Danny.
But that's Lucy, but that's what. Listen,
and you don't think like a major hub of left-wing ideology is in college campuses?
Yeah, but
you don't think that's where this shit is getting born?
What?
You don't think that's where left-wing ideas get born is in college campuses?
No, not at all.
Yes, it is. Now it is. Now it is.
Now it is.
The first liberal ideas and shit like just workers' rights and shit and just trying to do all that shit, the shit that you believe in and stuff, that shit is not born in college campuses. But that's not liberalism now. Liberalism now is shit from college campuses. Nobody except like Bernie Sanders and Andrew Gillum are actually doing the real shit. Every other liberal politician and all that shit is just trying to do the stupid, like, the stupid cultural identity politics shit. That's the shit in the Liberal Party that's just insane and that's what makes people.
But Lucy, I disagree with that. That's fine, but that isn't killing anybody.
Danny, I'm saying it's different extremes, and I agree with you that the extreme on the right. Danny, listen to me. Listen to
lot. Lucy, can you just let you make a point? Can I make a point? That's how this goes.
But you're just gonna make the same point.
But Lucy, listen.
You're just gonna say, "Oh, but they're killing people," and I say, "Look, I know they are, but that's an extreme. That's an extreme. It's not most of them."
Lucy, the point isn't that the right is killing people. The point is that there's not an equal volatility happening. All right, it's not 50. The right wing extremism is murder. Okay, left wing extremism is annoying college people.
The left wing volatility is the reason why I don't want to call myself a liberal anymore, and I think that's a problem.
I don't call myself a liberal. I call myself a progressive. I think it's a better word. It's a better definition.
But I think that's a problem because
Lucy, it is a problem. But what I'm saying is, people in politics, not the average person, people in politics and people in the media, make it seem like it's an equal issue to what's happening in the right.
Danny, I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention to politics, so I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Can I talk about Andrew Gillum for a second?
No.
Jesus.
What do you want to say about Andrew Gillum?
I'm just really happy. What? Andrew Gillum had a debate with two debates with DeSantis. By the way, Andrew Gillum is the person running for governor in Florida against a psychotic Republican racist. And Andrew Gillum murdered the shit out of this guy in the debates. He straight up called him a racist, neo-Nazi.
That's great.
I mean, just watch the debates because Andrew Gillum just beats the living crap out of this guy, and it's so satisfying. Because if people aren't familiar with Florida, Florida is famous for having the weakest, most shittiest Democrats in all the country. I'm serious. Like, I think the last person who went up against for governor as a Democrat was a Republican who switched to Democrat like 2 weeks before. All right, Andrew Gillum is something completely different from the rest of Florida Democrats. I'm extremely excited about it.
I love Andrew Gillum, and I voted for him, and he's probably gonna win, and I hope he wins. But can I say something?
Can I tell you how stupid Democrats in Florida are?
How?
The 25th, 26th, and 27th districts, congressional districts of Florida, are in Miami. 26 is Hialeah. No, 25 is Hialeah, 26 is South Miami and the Keys, and 27 is Miami and Miami Beach, right?
Okay.
All three are controlled by Republicans. All three have a chance to be flipped by Democrats because they're considered blue districts now, right?
Okay.
And all three Democratic opponents, campaigners, people who are Democratic. All three Democrats who are running in those districts are not Hispanic.
Okay, look, it's stupid, but listen to me, Danny.
But 25, 26, and 27 districts are all over 70% Hispanic.
Danny, listen to me. I have something important to say. My problem when you start talking about the shit with like the right-wing terrorists and stuff, and you say screaming all that shit, it's like, look, of course I agree with you that like I don't agree with people sending pipe bombs in the mail and shit and all that stuff. But I think that's a symptom of crazy people doing crazy things. But the problem I think is that I don't like it because a lot of the shit that you're saying is just like we can't talk to them anymore because they're doing all this crazy shit. But that's the problem. Is that people don't want to talk to each other anymore. And then when they do talk to each other, just say, you're a crazy Nazi piece of shit. And it's like, oh, you're a liberal snowflake, whatever, all that shit. Right? It's just people screaming at each other because they disagree on stupid shit.
Okay.
When they should just... And it's like, I know you don't like right-wing people and shit, but you can just listen to why they're mad. Like, why are they upset? And then, so, like, a lot of right-wing people are upset, like the white right wing or whatever. They're like, oh, we feel like we're not represented. And then always the counter argument by liberals, which I agree with to a lot of extent, but whatever. It's just like, you're white people. Why are you complaining? And like, I
mean, it's true. They're white.
And look, a large part of my heart agrees with that, but also just hear them out. Like, why are they angry? Why do they feel like they're not being represented? Why do they feel like all this shit? Talk to them and see what's going on instead of just saying, shut the fuck up, you white piece of shit. And then they feel worse.
Okay, can I respond?
Yes.
Okay, I actually agree with you a lot. All right, you're right. We should talk to the right wing and have a back and forth, about what their problems are and what issues they're having and all of that. That's completely fair. And not all right wingers are terrorists or crazy people at all. All right, that's not my argument. Okay, my argument is this: when we do talk to them, no, we shouldn't call them all crazy people. No, we shouldn't dismiss them. But what we should do is hold up a mirror to them and show them what they're doing. Okay, and show them what their actions cause. Okay, and show them facts. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, listen, the problem I have with what you're saying is just hear them out. And that's it. That's where you stop. I'm going to hear them out, but then I have to respond to them. I have to. Why are people?
But your version of responding to them is just getting angry at them for being terrorists and
No.
shit.
What I was trying to say with that is that there's a inequality. There's an unequalness to the left and the right. That's all I'm saying. There's things that happen on the right wing that just don't happen on the left wing.
But that doesn't matter. Because we're not. Matter. Because I can only. What I'm saying is like I can only talk from my perspective. I'm a liberal. I'm Hispanic. I don't talk for white Republicans. That's not what I am. So I can't talk for them. They're not part of my group. So the only thing I can affect is the way I treat other people. I can't change what the right wing does. So I'm not even gonna try. Doesn't even matter to me. I can change. So
we shouldn't even have a debate with the right wing.
Yes, you can. But you lead by example, like a good Christian does, right?
Yeah,
you don't just scream at them about how they're terrorists.
I never said they're terrorists.
Yes. Oh my God, Danny.
I said they're terrorists.
Can I tell you verbatim what you said to me today?
Go ahead.
You said verbatim. Oh look, the left wing screams at people and the right wing is killing people. That's literally what you said verbatim.
Because that's what's happening.
Okay, so that's calling them
not
terrorists.
all of them.
You didn't say not all of them. You just said the shit that I just said.
The murders and the bombs are on the right.
That's true.
I don't see any murders. I don't see any bombs on the left.
Danny, but you can't.
That's all I'm saying.
Control.
Why can't I say that? Why can't I show them those facts?
Because it's not constructive. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, there was one. There was one left-wing terrorism attack. I think last year, a Bernie Sanders supporter.
The Bernie Sanders supporter tried to kill the guys.
And the guy still lived. And that's the only one I can think of in my entire life.
Danny, listen to me.
I can think of a lot of right-wing attacks.
I'm just saying, it's useless to try to change what other people do. The only thing that you can change is the way you are and what you do, and by an extension, what your group does, because you have a say in that group because you're part of it. Okay, I'm not a white Republican. I can't change what they do. I'm not part of that.
But Luis, should we tell them the facts?
Yeah, and everybody's telling them the fact. I don't want to, but I'm not gonna get mad because they're doing shit they're not. I get madder I get more upset at what liberals do because they're my people, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. That's not what I stand for. That's not what you should be standing for. I get more upset when I hear liberals that do stupid shit because when I hear right wing people do stupid shit, I'm like, well, I mean, I don't agree with most of the shit they do. So, like, when they fucking start killing people and shit, I'm like...
So, you're saying... But, Lucy, just listen to your own argument. You're saying I should judge left-wing people more harshly because they're on the right side of history?
Because they're judge them more harshly because they have... Because you're part of them, because you're part of them, and you
Can't I judge both sides objectively?
Yeah, you can, but it's just pointless to scream at right wing people.
I'm not screaming at them. I just want to show them the truth.
Danny, that's and the way you're gonna show them is to scream at them and say, "Look at you, Nazi piece of shit! Look at this."
I never said that.
Danny. Oh my God, you're a fucking insane person. You literally said this shit.
How? Okay, look. Okay. Let me show you something else more. You know there are 12 Nazis.
Danny, I know this. Danny, calm down with this shit. I know. Why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me this? I'm not a Republican. You're not convincing me that they're bad people. I know a lot of them are bad. Why are you trying to tell me?
So you disagree with me. You just don't like that I'm saying it.
Because I think this is shit I've heard a million times and it doesn't do anything. People just getting mad at each other doesn't do anything. It's stupid.
So this is just a useless topic then. I mean,
yes.
We shouldn't expose right-wing craziness.
Anybody who doesn't know this shit is just hiding it from themselves and don't want to know the truth. And what are you going to do about that?
Well, then that gets into a very depressing point. It's like, what's the point of anything?
But Danny, the majority of people aren't that. The majority of people don't do that. Like, this look, is like I would say Andrew represents a majority of what most Republicans are like. They're probably more like him, and he tells you that a lot of Republicans do racist shit.
No, that's true. But Lucy, the problem is the overwhelming majority of Republicans and libertarians are like Andrew. The problem is those people, those moderate Republicans, libertarian, sane people, aren't the ones in Congress. Those
so they should vote for people who represent them more than the people who, like, you know, like, this is why I hated voting, because no Democrat represented what I actually think. Andrew Gillum more represents what I actually think, so I was happy to vote for him. But before that, I didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton. I don't want to vote for most Democrats. That's why I didn't really want to vote ever.
I mean, I guess you're right.
This is why I don't like politics. So, like, when you say, "Oh, Republicans are Nazis," because when you get to the extreme of what right wing, Danny, listen to me, please. When you get to the extreme of what right wing ideology turns into, when all the worst aspects of it are enhanced, it's fascism, right?
Yes.
So that's why you'll see Nazi-like people, because they're the most extreme of what that right wing ideology is. But when on the other side, the most extreme of left-wing ideology and shit is like communism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you see that in like college campuses and shit, and people with terrible ideas who think it's a good thing to be a communist.
But, okay, what I would say to that is, okay, that's true. The extreme left is just communism, and the extreme right is just fascist Nazis. But the issue is, I don't see a lot of communists.
And because that's just the way the tide's turning right now. There's a lot of Nazis killing people.
That's right. There's
a
lot of,
you know what the liberal shit is
right
now is that people who think it's a good idea to get rid of free speech, which is insane.
That's also a false debate. I don't know not one person.
Danny, this is the extreme. This is a complete extreme, is what I'm saying. Is that there's a lot of people in the extreme college.
Just isn't true. I don't see that extreme happening
on like college campuses and shit. They're saying shit like literally just saying like fuck free speech if my feelings get hurt.
Okay, first of all, I don't know a single person in college who said that. What college person said F free speech?
Danny, look at videos. I don't know. You're getting this shit. You're getting your shit about hating right-wing people from shit that you see. But you don't want to see the shit on the left that's just as extreme and insane. No.
I agree with you.
Look up the University, Evergreen State University, and I think it's called Evergreen.
I know about... they did protest and they kicked out all the white teachers and all. Then they tried to kill somebody, something like that. The thing is...
So that's like an extreme of what can happen in the liberal shit. It's insane. Like, why are they doing that shit? It's crazy.
Okay, first of all, here's the thing. All I'm saying is this. Yeah, okay, that the way it is right now, Luisi, and you agree with me on this, the right is a lot more volatile than the left. The left still has its volatility, and they're still college students,
they're a lot more violent.
Being stupid.
Yeah.
But the right has the upper hand in violence. They're the ones killing people right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me ask you, what do we do about that? How do we confront that?
What do we do
How do we
about
talk
that?
about that? Yeah, as in society. How do we talk about this?
I can't talk for society.
Should we just ignore it? Should we ignore Nazis?
I have no position of power in this. What am I going to do about it?
Say that again?
I have no position of power in this. What would I do about this? How would I talk about it? I'll talk about it by hearing about it and going like, damn, that's crazy. What am I going to do about it? Nothing.
So you don't even want to have an opinion about it?
I have an opinion about it. I don't agree with right-wing terrorism. That's my opinion about it.
Okay, here's a better question. How should the media talk about it? How should the media confront this?
The media,
how should people,
Danny, I think the news,
actual platforms
Danny, you know what I saw today? On the news, when I walked to work today, there's in the lobby of the building, there's TVs that play the news, like Bay News 9 or whatever. And on the TV, today's Halloween, for anybody listening on not Halloween. Today's Halloween, and this morning I saw on the news, the headline was, "Children twice as likely to die on Halloween." And I'm like, so you're just trying to scare people. You're literally just trying to scare parents in the morning. Just say, hey, your kid's probably going to die today. This is what the media does. So the media is going to inflate everything to the worst possible thing to get everybody angry, because then people will watch it. And then they get money. That's the problem. That's why the media should be abolished and turned into something else. Something that just tells you the news. And
we should have state-run media.
We should have state-run media? Is that what you said?
All right. That's what that's what's the option, or a very independent.
I don't think it should
media.
be state run, because then they wouldn't say what's happening in our state that's bad.
An independent administration that handles only the media.
Sure, just what I want is completely unbiased news that just tells you what's going on, but I don't know if that's possible. So, but that's what I would want.
Yeah, I think we're not gonna solve this, and it's way over time.
Yeah.
So
I just get, like, it's just stupid to me when you start screaming about this shit because it's pointless.
I'm just saying, Lucy, I mean, this week, there was, like, a bunch of bombs.
And what are you going to do about it?
Complain on my podcast about it?
It's just so stupid. Like, I get it. Like, but, like, what? It's pointless to keep screaming about this shit. Nothing's going to happen. Unless you want to, like, actually take some action. I don't know what that would be. But if you're one of those types of people, it's like, oh, I'm going to do something about this. Go ahead and do that. That's great. I'm not one of those people.
The only action that I can do right now is talk about it on my podcast, because that's the biggest platform I have. All right? And so I'm doing my part.
I don't know. Because that whole
All
shit,
I want to do is just show them what the truth is. I want to hold up a mirror to their side.
Danny, and then they're just gonna say twist it into something else. That's all anybody does. If anybody who hears shit that they don't want, this is just literally confirmation bias. Like, that's what everybody does. So, like, what you're saying is true, but if somebody who's extreme on the other side, if you told them, they'd find some way to twist it, and then nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna tell anybody that, and then they're gonna change their opinion. Because if they're on that side, you're not going to change their opinion by telling them facts. It's just not going to happen.
It's a useless point to make. I mean, it's true. You're right. I mean, I'm not going to change anybody's mind.
And that's the thing, like, because that's why it sounds so. It's just fucking stupid to me when people start screaming like this shit. Because what you should want to do is get people to be sane and rational, right? And like,
yes,
and that's what you think. And that's what you think you are, right? You think you're saying irrational. And I'm not saying you're not, but I'm just saying I don't want, you know me, everything's relative. But like, so you want everybody to be sane and rational because you think that's the place you're coming from, right? But so do they. They think we're insane, right?
I think they know they're insane.
No, they don't. Danny, anybody who's like, who goes to the point of sending pipe bombs to people, they think those people are evil and need to die.
Yeah, that's a
problem.
problem.
They think that's going to help them. Danny, what do terrorists say? They say they're doing it for God. They say they're doing it for the greater good when they do this type of shit. They think they're right.
I don't think... I'm going to end it like this, okay? I don't think the entire right is irredeemable. I don't think the overwhelming majority of right-wing people, or just the... center-right, moderate, normal, sane people who just, don't want the government up in their ass about everything. Very sane, maybe in some cases misinformed, or just have different ideas than me. I don't have an issue with that. I'm just saying there are people on that side that are extremists, and we should talk about it, and we should figure out how to get rid of that component of them. All right,
but that's not really our play. That's what I'm saying. Is like, it's there.
It should be our place in the fact that I'm an American citizen and
no, but this is what I'm saying.
Country
like, it should
where
be,
Jews are being killed by them.
Danny, but this is what I'm saying. You want them to stop having radicals in their thing.
Also, by
Danny,
the way,
wait, but listen to me, please.
Lucy, really quick. Also, it's not just that they're killing Jews. Is that they're separating immigrant families.
Danny, I know. Look, listen to me, please. Listen to me.
To the border
Danny,
to stop
please,
asylum seekers.
Please listen to me. Please listen to me. Please listen to me.
But hurry, because we're going to close this out.
Your problem with them is that you want that extreme portion of the right to be eradicated or whatever, not be there. Right?
Not eradicated. Just like they have
to just stop doing that shit, right? But we can't do anything about that because we're not in that group. They have to change that from the inside, which means the moderate Republicans have to do something about it.
You know what we can do about it, though?
What?
We can vote them out on November 6th.
We can vote for who we want to, yes. That's true.
Get
to me.
The psychotic right-wing...
Look, this is my very last point.
All right, and then close it out.
I think the main problem that we're having in America is that the divisiveness in America... That everybody, the divisiveness and tribalism that's going on, that people think if you're right wing, I hate you, and if you're left wing, I hate you, whatever, all that shit.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why I don't want to promote this kind of shit on my podcast. Things that'll just divide people more. When you come on and just say, look at the right-wing people killing people, that's just going to divide people more. And I'm not saying it's not true, because it was a right-wing guy who was sending pipe bombs, but he's also a maniac he's not defined by being right-wing. He's just crazy also.
All right. Well, then we won't talk about it on next week's podcast. All right, guys. This has been an interesting debate. It's the same one we have every single week, it seems like. All right, so yeah, follow us on Twitter, 3_gorillas.
We got a new Twitter follower.
Yeah, we did. Follow us on 3_gorillas on Twitter. Follow us on 3 Gorillas Entertainment on Facebook. 3 Gorillas Entertainment at Gmail. Write us, contact us. All right, we'll see you next week. We love you. Cue the music.
Bye, Stamps. Bye, Stamps. Bye, Stamps. Goodbye.
Bye.